Okay, we got neighborhood Alky Pops. Okay, said Emmett Till is not an anomaly. He's just the only story that we know. I think there's other stories that we know. Of bad things happening to black men dealing with well, accused of dealing with white women during slavery times and times after that. But let's hear what he has to say, man.
Having a conversation of why you can't be pro-black with a white wife. And since I've been the one pushing this agenda for years, let me just be the one to come out and say this. Having a white wife while you're going against the system of white supremacy is like a Hispanic joining ICE. It does not matter if a few of them believe in due process. They are socialized to be against you. White women, no matter what, are systematically indoctrinated to have an inadvertent, disgusting amount of privilege. They're raised in purity, as the black man is demonized, as the black man is the villain, as the black.
Part of me agrees and part of me disagrees. I feel like, okay, you are one of these super pro black people. Me, I'm kind of, pro human first, but I'm black. I identify as a black man, so of course that's always gonna be on the forefront of my mind. But I don't know, man. I don't have a problem with brothers playing in the snow. Like, I feel there's so many people that have a problem with brothers playing in the snow, and to me, I feel like, okay, what did like the super racist white supremacist type of people want to do? They wanted to do, genocide, stuff like that. That's what they wanted to do. Us, on the other hand, can take the more peaceful route, and they already feel like they being washed away anyway, right? That's how they feel. If you look on right wing kind of social media, you will see that that's a big talking point of them is their the color is darkening within their people because of black men and women that they call like the white woman that deal with black men like mud sharks or something like that, and they feel like they're being eradicated. So I feel like if you are like super pro black, you shouldn't have too much of a problem with a black man, especially if he is like of this complexion. Now, when we see the light skinned brothers go with the white woman, when you see the light skinned brothers go with the white woman, that can be probably more of a problem because those kids are gonna come out looking a little more white than black.
Black man is over.
Just my opinion on these things, though.
Emasculated. This is deeply embedded. We are on two different paths since birth. Black men, we have to grow up internalizing the oppression. We have to bottle up all of this history and anger that we have and somehow take it and turn it into pride. We have to constantly, over and over and over, throughout our lifetime, go through breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. When you are a young black man and you learn your history, the first thing you do is get angry. But you can't get angry because that's part of the plot. Another thing you have to do is internal.
You can't let the history anger you. We can't discount the history, but I feel like a lot of people would be more successful if they weren't always thinking about the history, because history is what it is. It's the history, right? We need to be more focused on what we can do moving forward. We can't forget it. I do think it's good to teach it, but there are some downsides of teaching it because a lot of people stick with those victim mentalities, and that's not what you want to have. A victim mentality isn't going to lead you to being successful. As thinking that that you are at a disadvantage is going to put you at a disadvantage versus looking at the bright sides of being black, the fact that we are the leader in what's cool in the world and what's trendy in the world, and people are intrigued by black people. There are a lot of people they either love black people or they hate black people, right? So there's some advantages to it as well, especially in today's age, 2025. There's so many different ways to make money online that there aren't really many gatekeepers in most industries.
Internalize all of this hate and oppression, recognize your oppressor, and then once you bottle it all up, you can't get angry. You have to learn how to maneuver and operate in a society that continuously still hates you. So you have to be calm. And you have to take all of that built up anger and somehow turn it into pride so that you don't have internalized hate for yourself, because we wake up every day with these people telling us to hate ourselves, and having self-hate is the right way to go. From a very young age, the first thing we learn is oppression. I'm talking about the first thing we learn is Emmett Till, Rodney King, Fred Hampton, Huey Newton. We have to learn why light-skinned people are light-skinned sometimes. When we're young, we ask, why is so-and-so?
I don't know, bro. I feel like he's focusing so much on those aspects versus the other things that you learn when you're young. Emmett Till is not the first thing you learn as a kid. My niece is 7, very, very beautiful young girl. She doesn't know about Emmett Till. She's learning thousands of things. She's actually very ahead. She's a gifted child, and Emmett Till hasn't came up in her classes yet, I'm sure.
So light skinned and I'm so dark skinned? Oh, because the slave master used to take people wives, their 13-year-old daughters, and take them in the back and make children with them.
That did happen in my family. That is part of the reason why I am light skinned. My grandmother, her maiden name is a French name, and we were on a French plantation. So yeah, that's kind of how I got light skinned. So he's right about that.
We have to learn about slavery. We have to watch The Color Purple. We have to watch the whole Atlantic slave trade happen. We have to learn how these people brought diseases over here, brought beaten and battered people, and beaten them more, battered them more, take advantage of their women. Yes, from a very young age, from the age of 4, when you ask your mom, why am I dark skinned and my brother light skinned? Why was my brother born with red hair? Why is my last name German? These are things that are internalized, and it's not enough nurture in the world that a white woman could have, like a black woman that can nurture or heal these wounds.
That's my thing, right? And I do believe some trauma is genetic, but dude, those are not your wounds, bro. Like, you gotta be able to move forward in life. And I understand that this type of video that he's making is gonna appeal to the Dr. Umar graphic. You see some of these comments. Some lady said, I'm this woke. When I found out about Nikki Giovanni, I was immediately turned off. Being pro-black means choosing black people in every aspect of your life, especially romantically. I don't know. I guess it's because I am, I'm not just I'm an international person. I'm living in Thailand right now, so it's a little bit different for me. I don't live in a tourist area, right? I live in Thailand. So, you'll see a black person every now and then, and you'll see a white person every now and then, but it's mostly Asians, right? So, they're very accepting, very kind, they're very nice people. They are very to themselves, but that's just Asian culture. But I've been living in America all my life, and focusing on the past and acting like I'm hurt and need healing over something that didn't even happen to me, that kind of seems insane to me.
Especially since the oppression comes from her bloodline. This trauma is embedded in our DNA. And not only is it embedded in our DNA, we have to wake up every day and see how this system is still in place and it was never reformed. That one generation ago, my mom was in a segregated school.
Yeah, that's my thing. If the trauma is embedded in the DNA, why does nobody talk about how to heal that? Why are we grown men? Why are we grown people acting like we still need to heal? One time I heard a girl say, she said, this is like a 25, 26-year-old girl at the time. She's like, I act this way because my mom died when I was 4. It's like, okay, that's a sad thing. I lost a parent when I was 13, right? Very sad thing. But I don't make excuses for my behavior and say, oh, because my dad died when I was 13, that's why I'm fucking up in life when I'm 28, 29, right?
That 2 generations ago, my grandmother was born on a plantation to sharecroppers. Yeah, we have to see this. It's every day. We had to wake up as a young black man and see Trayvon Martin on the news and a long list of more. And they are embedded in their DNA with manipulation, violence, colonization. Every single place that Europeans have touched, there was violence, there was oppression, there was overthrowing. Central America, South America, North America, every single country in Africa.
This is another point that I kind of hate, because what do you think we were doing in Africa? We were just all lovey-dovey, everybody. Oh, my brother, my brother. No, we were at war too, bro. We were at war too in Africa. What do you think the some of the Indian tribes were doing? They were at war also. What do you think they were doing in South America? The Aztecs and the Mayas and the Incas. You think they was just cool? You think hey buddy, no, it was war. The thing is, the losers get the winners get to write history, right? And for whatever reason, whether it was the technology advantage, whether it's the fact that he did bring diseases and certain things to other countries, that's why, like we were the losers, right? And it's not like white people just took over all of Africa, right? No, they came there, they did, may have some settlements, have some things going on, have some colonization going on, but they also, they had to buy slaves. You know what I'm saying? They weren't just coming and taking over villages and no, they were, the slaves were being sold to them. That's why if you go to West Africa, you'll see that there are the original places where slaves were being sold and put on the ships, where some of those places are still standing.
Has been colonized except for one, and even that country, they attempted to colonize it. I'm talking about the Middle East. These people that are in the Middle East right now, of that skin tone, are not the original people. That they came from Poland, Sweden, Ukraine down there. Everything that they've touched has turned to violence and corruption. It's in their DNA. There's no way that you have a nurturing soul as a white woman enough to nurture the soul of a black man. So how are you going to fight a system of white supremacy when you're laid up with the oppressor?
I actually agree with that, because if you're this much of a victim, I don't think anybody can nurture your soul, to be honest.
When we look at you, what we see is you going and laying down to heal in the arms of the woman that gave you lashes. When you're going to heal in the arms of the, when we look at you, it looks like you're going to lay down on the chest of Master and say, can you please heal these wounds that you've opened and poured salt in over and over and over. And I don't care if your one white woman is pro-black. She comes from a white family, and there's not one white person in this entire country. If you ask them, is your parents MAGA? And if they parents ain't MAGA, ask them if they uncle MAGA. Ask them if they little cousins gotten involved with this at 22, 23 years old.
Oh my God, bro. Some of y'all really live like this, like just being a super victim 24/7, like, cause he seems like he been holding this in. Seems like he is actually carrying some trauma, but a lot of that can be mental, man. It's like, okay, so now every single person is responsible for the actions of their ancestors, right? So, you know, your grandfather that killed somebody or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? You also are responsible for that, I guess.
Ask them if they grandfather, what side of history they was on when they was letting them dogs go and pouring and spraying people down with water hose. When they was calling my mama the N-word and telling her that she don't belong in this white school. And she had to fight to go to a school of arts and then get a bachelor's degree and a master's degree just for her to come out. And these same people to this day in 2025 and tell her that she's not qualified. And she's a DEI hire. These same people are in office right now, and it's not just the politicians, it's the school board, it's the corporations, it's everything.
This man 100% voted for Kamala Harris.
Down to the grocery stores, down to the loans, to the mortgages. These people will never understand the amount of oppression and systematic racism. You have to learn this from the age of 4. You would never understand this. And when these people marry a white person, when you marry a woman, you marry into their family, man. You don't marry a person, you marry their family. You marry their history, you marry their lineage, and you procreate with this lineage. So it's either you're going to be pro-black or you're just going to shut the fuck up and be what you are. You can't keep a raccoon out the trash can. Shut the fuck up and go to the suburbs and live your little life with your little fucking son named Zion or Jaden or whatever the fuck you want to name him, and let him play baseball with his half-ass 2C textured ass hair. Even down to the hair we have to learn when I'm young. You can't wear this hairstyle because this is going to give off the wrong impression to police. Man, come on now. And when it comes down to white men dating black women, I don't even want to get in that. Somebody else can do that. A black woman that date white men, she might just got a badass wig. I guess y'all finally have.
That is true though. When you see a lot of the black women that date white men, you know, their wigs do be fucked though. It's a certain archetype, right? But I don't know, man. To me, it's not that serious. Seems like this dude lives in permanent victimhood and is gonna stay there. And I don't think that's what pro black should be. You know, it should just be being pro black. But you know, I'll make sure y'all go check out his content. There's a lot of talking head content. Yeah, he got a video called Purple Revolution. I'm not even gonna click on that, but yeah, man. It said for color girls only. I don't know, man. Dude, feel like I can't live with this much hate for other people in my life. I feel like it would be detrimental to my mental health. I'm a type of person that's like, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, my wife is black. She's a black woman. But that wasn't the deciding factor of if I'm going to be with her or not. It wasn't. You know, for that I've entertained women of all different races, creeds, colors, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you can think of, I probably have entertained that type of woman before. So it's all about behavior for me, man. That's how I judge people, on their actions, on their behavior. I'm not gonna hold you even if your daddy was racist, you know. That's cool. That's not what I'ma go off of. But you know, everybody got their opinion. Everybody got what they think, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below. Love y'all. I'm out.